Hey guys, it's Andrea. Today is May 21st and I'm going to be harvesting my garlic today, so super exciting. Usually I don't harvest garlic until June, but this spring has been really weird and it's actually really chilly today and there has been a lot of rain, and so these garlic are ready to come out, and I'm going to show you how I know that they are ready to come out. So here's one of my garlic beds. And these actually look really small, the stalk, but you can see this is one of the dead leaves, and here's another one. So when there's two dead leaves, you know that it's ready to harvest. And I want to get these out because there's more rain in the forecast this week. So I want to show you the difference. This is regular garlic. This is elephant garlic. So there's a big difference in how big they are. And so I have this whole bed. This is cilantro that's going to seed. And here's another cilantro. So I'm just letting those go to seed there. And then that whole bed over there is also regular garlic. And those garlic over there look a lot bigger than these. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling these. I'm gonna pull one of the elephant garlic first. This is elephant garlic. Look at how huge that is. These are little seed garlic. And you can actually, I leave these in the ground. This garlic grew from one of these. It did take 2 years, but they're all over the side of this. And you can just put these back in the ground when you harvest this. But this is the elephant garlic. So now I'm gonna pull one of the regular garlic and let's see how that one looks. And the dirt is kind of wet, which probably you wouldn't want to harvest it when it's wet, but it's supposed to rain this week. And since these are already ready, they're showing me signs that they're ready, I don't want to leave them in the ground. Because actually when you leave them in the ground, after they're ready, this papery, you can lose layers on this paper right here. And this is what keeps your garlic fresh. I'm not too concerned about it because I plan to preserve most of my garlic, but so this is how you can tell. Let me put these two. So if you look at these two, this is why the stalk size is important. If you can see, this stalk is a pretty good size. This isn't the biggest garlic. I'm sure there's going to be bigger garlic in the other bed, but this bed, for some reason, this garlic didn't do as good. But here's a skinny stalk. And look how small that garlic is. So that's why when you're looking at your garlic, your stalk size definitely tells you what is going on under the ground. So here's another elephant garlic, and those roots are really long, but that's elephant. And let me get some of the dirt off of here. This is regular. So that's the size comparison of the bulb size under the ground. So this one is a lot bigger. But this elephant garlic isn't actually a true garlic in a sense that we would think. So, but it does have a garlicky taste. And so that's why I grow both. So regular garlic, elephant. And then I did actually snap this one off on accident. So this one will definitely have to be one of the ones that we eat first. smells like garlic. So I'm gonna continue, but some of these are actually, let me get that dirt off. But they got a pretty good size to them. I mean, they're not the biggest, but they will do. So I'm gonna put these on the table over here and I'll show you how many I got. So here is the elephant garlic and here's the regular garlic. I'm gonna go to this bed now and we'll get all these out. This is a chocolate cherry sunflower, so I'm gonna try not to mess with this. It was a volunteer from last year. Oh yeah. So see, stalk size is a lot bigger on these than the ones in this other bed, and that bulb is a lot bigger. I've picked some of these. Here's what I've picked so far. You can't really see because of all these roots. But these are what I picked so far. But the rest of this bed right here, I'm out here waiting on my family to come out because it's a tradition that we like to pick garlic together. So I'm waiting for them to come out and they're gonna help pick the rest of this with my kids and my husband. But even though the kids are getting older and they don't really enjoy it that much anymore and they'd much rather be doing their own thing, a tradition is a tradition. We just finished this bed. The kids didn't want to be videoed harvesting the garlic, so this whole bed is done and I'm going to show you what we got. So here's all the garlic that we got from just this bed right here. I should have counted them, which I probably will, but I don't know how many I planted in here. But this is what we have. And there's a pretty good bit of good-sized garlic. A couple of them are smaller. I mean, there's smaller ones and there's bigger ones. Hey guys, I'm back with the garlic. I've been letting it dry out in here. And I did harvest 168 bulbs of garlic, and then I think we already ate one of the elephant, we roasted it, but there was 4 of these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate the bigger ones from the smaller ones. So like this one is bigger than this one, and their roots are completely dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the green part off the smaller ones, and then I'm going to save the larger ones to braid up and plant next year. So I've got 2 buckets over here, and the ones that I want to save for planting next year, which I always save the biggest ones, I'll put in a bucket, and then I'll cut these off and put them in a bucket. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off the root on those 2 so that it just is like that. I don't need the roots on there to save. calculated it, and I think since I harvested 168 this year, I think I'm going to save 50 bulbs to plant next year, and that should give me about 200 plants. That gives room for error or some of them dying or anything like that. That way I have enough to make sure that I get at least what I planted, or I'm sorry, I get at least what I harvested this year. And I'm just gonna throw these over here on the floor. I'll clean those up later. Like all of these are pretty small. So these are the ones that I'll go ahead and use. I'm just trying to go through and find the smaller ones, and then I'll compare sizes on some of the bigger ones. Like this pile over here these are pretty small compared to this one. So I would save this one for planting and use this one. I don't know what happened to this one. It's super small. This one rotted. Let me show you. I'm not sure what happened to it, but that's a bad one. I'm going to go ahead and count out the big ones so that I can know when I'm almost done chopping here. Okay, that's 40, so if I estimate if there's 4 cloves in each of those bulbs, that should give me 160, so I'm just going to get a couple more. 5 more just for insurance. Okay, so then turn these this way and get back to chopping. So I finished cutting all those off because I have a spot that I hang these up, and that's where they'll stay till next year when we're ready to plant. So when I braid them, I pretty much just do it like you would do a braid for hair. The bulb is always going to go on the outside, so I've got one here and then cross one, cross another. And these are actually hard necks, so they're not supposed to be the ones that you braid, but I have always braided them. And so I'm just going to cross that outside one over and put a new one right here with it, and then cross this one over and put a new one on that, cross this one over, put a new one there, cross these over, a new one there. And this isn't like perfect or going to be pretty or anything, but this is just how I get the job done. And I'm just going to keep adding more to this. So there it is. The back looks pretty good. I'm going to get a little rubber band to tie this in because tying it up in and of itself didn't really work. Okay, so I got me a rubber band. I'm just going to take the end of this and tie it up. So that it will stay. And so there's one braid. These are going to get hung up I have to do one more break because there's a little more left. So same process that I did on the last one, I'm just gonna do on this one. Okay, that kind of messed up. Okay, so now I'm going to get this rubber band on the end of this one. Oh, that one was kind of a long one. And it was a little harder, so it probably doesn't look as good as the other one. But there's our 2 garlic braids, and I have to go hang these up outside. Well, my camera died, and while it was charging, I got all of the garlic and dirt and everything cleaned up in here. So I've got my bucket of garlic right here, and I'm just gonna put it on this table and let it dry out some more. I want to get to it within the next week or so. I would like to preserve it this year and make some garlic infused oil and like chop up a bunch of garlic to put in the freezer. Usually I just leave the bulbs whole like this, and then I wash them really good. I put them in a Ziploc, and then I just put them in the freezer. And that's usually how I store garlic. And when I need one, I just take it out and let it thaw for a couple of minutes and then peel it and use it. But this time I would like to peel all of this and get it all chopped up and into different forms of garlic that would be prepared that I can just use. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them out and lay them back on the table so that they're not sitting on top of each other, because some of these aren't all the way dry. So here's my garlic harvest for the year. I've got all my bulbs down here. And like I said, I want to get to this pretty soon. That's why I'm not too concerned about leaving them in here. I do have a dehumidifier in here, so it kind of keeps the humidity down and helps dry stuff out. That's a big thing about gardening, is preparing and just being ready for things to happen. That's why I save so much garlic, because you just never know. I thank y'all for watching, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one.